that. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so now. You are completely going to love it here. Promise. Okay, so today's video should not be making me smiling. It's definitely not a smiling video. It's a furious video. But anyway, today I will be sharing a story time of how I got scammed of 90k. I know it sounds crazy, but yes, they dribbled me close to 100k in South African rands, obviously. But yeah, such is life, I guess. So yeah, let's get into it. And even me I can't believe that I'm doing a video like this. Like, it's literally taken so much strength for me to speak about it, to even share, because not a lot of people know this. I actually didn't share this even when I was going through the going-throughs, when I was wishing for this. Quite a few people, like a handful of people, knew. So, but yeah, let me stop waffling and get into the purpose for the day. Okay, so this is what went down. Okay, so I was in Joburg for a bikinyana, yabo. And in that time, obviously, I made friends. I was sharing a room with one of the persons that I've become close friends with. And yeah, so during that time, she introduced me to this idea. Well, she's very businessy. Like, she's always been just hustling, doing things, getting businesses up and running, and doing all sorts of things on the side. So she came to me with this idea. You would see, Vele, there's this opportunity where you invest and you get your money back. And at that time, she was sort of in the talking stages with one of the guys that were running this, because it was introduced to me as like a 5-man show where, you know, it's a very close-knit thing where these people know each other. They obviously trust each other. They've been doing this for some time. They are homeboys from Venda and yabo, blah, 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 blah. So it had an element of trust to it. It wasn't like something that I just took off the street, yabo. And she basically told me, because she was investing in it, she was investing quite a lot into it. Now she was just exploring the idea, because the boyfriend, okay, eventually progressed to boyfriend at that point, was sort of encouraging her to do it. And mind you, I had met the boyfriend and I chilled for a bit, you know, with them. So I also knew him. Like, if I tell you, people drive nice cars, they wear nice clothes, you know, those guys that are presentable, like Joburg guys that are just look like they live in the life. They are working, they're making things work, you know, smart BPD, BMWs, you know, top of the range cars that they're driving. Now you get, you know, the idea with how these people are making it in life. This must be a real thing, because how they do, there's nothing that they're lacking. They look like they're moneyed, you know. So that's the element of trust that came in as well, because I saw them, I spoke to them a couple of times. They explained to me what this entailed. So basically, it was Forex trading. They were Forex trading, and you invested your money. The company was called Lone Wolf Capital. They had a website. They had everything. They had a website. They had bank details. They had like a demo stations, or like instructions on how to invest, how much you get back on your returns, and all of that. At that point, it looked legit. Please, it looked legit. And then, yeah, so my friend invested money into it, obviously, and I didn't just go in hastily into this. I first was like, let's see what Yena, you know, it comes back with. I think she invested a smaller amount, and then it worked out, because you invest for 30 days. If it's over 10k, I think it's 95%. If it's less than 10k, then you get a lower return, something like that, but not something around 80%, I think. Yeah, I can't remember exactly. So she invested and she got her money back, and I was like, okay, let me try. and put in a small amount, like 5,000 yana, even though it's not going to give me like 95% interest back, but it's fine, you know, just testing the waters. I think I put it in, and then after 30 days, the money came back. Obviously, classic scam people. And okay, I was like, oh, okay, it seems like it's working. And then I put in 10K and it came back. It's like, oh. So as I told you, if you put 10K, you get 96 or 95% in interest. Ne? So you almost get twice the amount. So if you put in 10K, you're gonna get 19,500 or somewhere there. Yeah, boy. So it's like, oh, okay. Seems like it's working, it's legit. I was like, okay, let me just wait and see what happens. And then whilst I was doing that waiting, me and myself, I told another friend of mine who told her boyfriend, and the boyfriend invested. Now the boyfriend is investing through me. Like, I'm the point of contact. I was like, yeah, these guys, here's the number, blah, 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 do the things. So the guy invested, I think he invested around 15,000 as well. And I feel bad for this because now he got dribbled. But anyway, yeah, so he put in, 30 days, blah, blah, blah. They explained the whole process to him. But now, this is where it starts getting a bit sketchy. Okay, so I start properly putting money into this around June 2019, yeah. Around June, July. That's where I start putting money. So money, well, when I say money, like now I was testing the waters before the money came back. Now I'm, so I put in 10,000 and it's a 30-day investment. It matures, you get back your money after 30 days. So I put in 10,000 rands with the hope that it was going to come back in July. Okay, fine, fair enough. And whilst I was still waiting, I also, because people are talking every day, you're communicating with these people. It's almost like you've become like sort of friends. You don't think, they dribble me. These people, we're speaking more every day, like they're keeping me updated. Janjani, everything is fine. They're advertising on WhatsApp. You can call them, you can get a hold of them at any time. They're very responsive. So yeah, and July, before the other one matured, before the 10,000 matured, I put in another 20,000, right? So I think my idea around that was that when this one matures, obviously it's going to come back and it's going to be almost twice fold. And this one is going to wait another 30 days. So let me put it in a bit earlier, and then it's going to mature in August. Hi, okay, fine. I'm meant to get back my 10,000. That money doesn't come. It comes back with a quick explanation to say, no, there was an unexpected delay at the bank, but it should come through and we're expecting it, so don't panic. I was like, sharp, really, I trust you guys. I know you guys. My other friend on the other side, she invested, according to her, she invested, I think 100K, and she was now asking for her money back. I think because she put in a large value, they told her it was going to take 2 months. So her 2 months had come up around the end of July, because that's when things started to be a bit sketchy. And they was giving us stories now. And funny enough, her and the guy didn't last for long. They dated briefly and then they parted ways. So now the guy was no longer like a boyfriend, but he was just a guy she knows from back home that they've dated and then whatever. And then that's the guy that we trusted because we were like, he's a Christian guy even, he talks scriptures, he talks Bible, he talks God. How can do this? But little did I know. Okay, so girl now is inquiring about her investment. They're giving stories back and forth. They're not coming forward. They're not giving her money. And Nami, now my investments have not materialized. Remember, I put 10 and I put 20. So I had 30K now invested in this. And then in the midst of all that, they keep saying blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, you know what? Oh, and then at one point, they start telling me that it's going to all come together. So the 20 and the 30, I'm going to get back the interest on both those investments at the same time. So that would be end of August. I was like, okay, sharp, it's fine, we'll wait and we'll see. End of August towards that, it wasn't even end of August. Before that, before it came to end of August, mid-August, they come to me, they're like, hey, we have a proposal for you. If you put in this amount of money, we're gonna increase. They were like, firstly, there were stories to say because of the regulations that have come through, we are no longer now gonna give people the 95% interest. We are now reducing it to 50%. So if you invest now, you're going to get 50%. And then they came to me, they were like, because when you are our client, you've been investing, we're going to give you a special offer where we still give you that 95% discount, but we need you to invest. We need you to put in maybe at least 50,000 for it to be worthwhile. Otherwise, it's not going to work. We can't offer you that amount. So they were like sweetening the deal, saying a lot of things. And things now with that you're like, oh, okay, maybe, they're helping. Because at that point, I still had faith in them. I still sort of had, I still had trust. I had not seen anything. And at this point, the guy friend that was introduced to this because of me had not received his monies. They were very rude to him. They were not giving him updates on his money when he was asked, because his money was due now. They were very rude. They did not give him like proper updates. He kept sending emails. They sent emails back, but emails that are long and not saying anything. They're like, no, we understand your frustration, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here's me get on the side because the guy is sweetening me. The guy is softening me. The guy dealt with me properly that time. And then convinced me to invest 60,000 more into this, because now it's going to come back as 100 and close to 114, including the principal amount. But yeah, 140, close to 140 when it comes back, and it was going to be for 1 month. I was like, okay. Yes, I know at this point I should have been skeptical, but I was not at that point. I don't know why, but I invested another 60K into this. Okay. So now, after that, the guy that was the main point of contact, as I was saying, which is now the ex, is saying stories. He's saying these people, we no longer have a good working relationship within the group. So Mina, I'm leaving. Blah, 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 blah. So these people now will handle your accounts, because you know how investments are. You have like a person that handles your investments, and he was the person that was handling or looking after our accounts, because obviously we were introduced to him from a client of his, so he naturally took us in. So now that he's leaving, he's like, these guys will deal with your. And then he was saying a lot of things. There was money issues, blah, 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 blah. I don't know who took money. It was a whole story. And when it was time for my money to come, the money never came. There were stories now, and blaming the banks. Like, you know how people are delaying when it comes to giving back your money, and you see that the emails that are sending, the long email, like, we understand your frustration and we are sorry and we are trying to rectify this with the bank, but rest assured your monies will come back to you guys. The monies are definitely going to come back to you guys. So this dragged on until November, where I realized there's no money that's coming, because they've just been saying back and forth. And then I was like, you know what, I'm terminating my investments. I don't want anything to do with you guys. Give me back my principal amounts that I invested. I no longer care about the interest. I just want my principal amounts back. now it's difficult. They don't answer phone calls. Now I'm here, right? I'm not in South Africa anymore. And the only way to get through to these people is through phone calls and WhatsApp. They're not answering WhatsApps. They're not answering emails. They're not answering phone calls, because there was 3 numbers that I had, and there was WhatsApp that was dedicated to customer service. It was no longer answering, like, because you would ask and they would give you reassurance, yeah, you're gonna get your money, just bear with me, even if it means doing this. And the guy was complaining that he got death threats from people, so now he's on the run, so he's not answering phones because people are harassing him for their monies, but he's explained the situation, blah 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 blah. And then remember that roommate of mine, she actually got, because she knew where this person lived, she actually got accompanied by the police to go to him to say, give my money back. I think they spoke to him and they organized an arrangement for him to pay, but he never honored that. And my other friend, I'm gonna refer to the friend now, that I introduced as well, he actually went as far as going to the FSCA to lay a complaint to say these people are giving us the go around, they've taken the money but they're not giving back, because they made us sign contracts and we sent back contracts, so there's written agreements and everything and proof of payments and everything for these investments, Forex investments, tradings. So the FSCA actually investigated, and they came back to him to tell him, Muguti, these people are operating illegally, because to be a broker like that for Forex, you need to be registered with the FSCA. Otherwise, you can't operate in South Africa. If you are doing that, you are breaking the law and you're doing it illegally. And that's what these guys were doing. So from there, they escalated the matter to SAPS, who then looped in the Hawks. Yeah, the last I heard, the Hawks were looking into this case, and we had to transfer statements. We had to transfer bank statements, those agreements, the letters or the communication that they were sending us, and everything. So me and this guy friend, now we're doing all of this. He initiated the process, and yeah, I sent all the documents that I required. And then now they needed more witnesses, because it wasn't just us who was investing. There's other people as well that they were dribbling. I'm pretty sure there was like maybe 10, 15 of us as well that they were dribbling, that were not giving money to. And some people wanted to cooperate. Some people opted not to. We sent 3 statements, and we were like, okay, yeah, these people are going to be arrested, even if we not get our money back, but at least let them be punished, because you can't just be taking people's monies like this and live happily, because they were flourishing on Facebook. Even now, these guys are flourishing. Like, part of me is just like, you know what, guys, sometimes don't look at things that people own and wish them to be as if they were your own, because you don't know how they acquire them. You don't know if they took them through tears from other people, because even now, if you go to Facebook and you look at their profiles, there's only one guy I know, obviously the one that was handling my account, but his profile, he's flourishing, he's driving nice cars, nice BMWs, he's living the life, he's always on vacations. And I'm just like, this guy, like, in his head, is there no conscience to say, me, I'm stealing other people's monies? Like, I'm busy stealing other people's monies. That's how I make my living. And these cars, I can only afford them because this is how I make my living. So yeah, the Hawks came through, but then COVID took over everything. And to be fair, the Hawks have failed us in this matter as well, because the last I heard, they were investigating, but nothing else came through it, because they were waiting to get more evidence so that they can put it to the NPA so that these people can be brought to book. But I've not heard anything. Like, I've tried to follow up a few times, but I've not heard anything from them. And it's difficult for me to follow up from here, obviously, because the only thing I can do is just call or send emails. If they don't respond, they don't respond. So yeah, I never got back that money. And funny enough, not even funny enough, sadly, you get into this because they ask you, Uguti, like, they give you hope, Uguti, like, what you could do with this money, the things that you could do when this money comes through. And you explain to them, you're like, yeah, I want to do 1, 2, and 3, and 4. This money's for this money's for that. They're like, don't worry, your money's going to come back. Your money's in safe hands. And then it doesn't come back. That had a huge, huge emotional impact on me, guys. Like, I went through the darkest holes. Like, when you're still in the process of hope, where you're hoping that they were just, this glitches in the system is coming back. Like, they promised, they keep sending emails that are reassuring, it's coming back, and you keep calling and you keep calling. Yeah, you still have hope. And also, there's a point where you're like, okay, you know what, I want my money now. You're furious. I want my money. And then their sad realization kicks in, and then you get depressed. You're like, yeah, I've lost money now. I've lost this huge amount of money. I could have done 1, 2, and 3 with this money. I was actually going to do 1, 2, and 3 with this money. But some people decided that it was better in their hands. Yeah. Nobody ever got their monies. My roommate never got her money. The guy friend or my friend's boyfriend never got her money. And yeah, the people are still at large. They're living life to the fullest. They're still doing other scams. I think they've stopped the Forex ones because their websites have been taken down. And when I was going through at that time through their websites, through Google thingy, Google has reviews. A lot of people were actually bashing them. And well, this was after, like, this is when things started going down, like not giving monies and not paying people. There was a lot of bad reviews. So I think they decided to take down the websites or whatever. But yeah, this just goes to say, guys, please be careful with your monies. That was a lesson for me, because after that, darlings, I'm never ever putting things into schemes that are saying we're going to give you money back quickly. Obviously, things like that are very high risk, and it's highly unlikely that you're going to get your money back. But just be careful with who you trust with your money. Be careful how you invest, and invest with reputable financial brokers that are registered with FSCA. And should things go wrong, you know that you have something to fall on, something that you can complain to, or a body that has your back, basically. Because in this world, there are vultures and there are people that are after your money, and they will make sure they sweet talk you, and they're very smooth, Shem. When they're after your money, they're very smooth. You might just fall for it, because you know how people just, when it comes to man. But yeah, it was a lesson learned for me, and I'm never gonna fall into that trap again, because it nearly took me into depression. I don't know how I came out of it, because at one point I decided to, like, you know what, let me just stop, and let me just block all of these people. Let me delete their numbers, and just give it to God, and if one thing, he will punish them. Like, I don't have to hold hatred in my heart and hold darkness in my heart. They know what they did, and if not, karma also has their address. They will deal with them, however late it may be, but at some point, because you can't live comfortably for the rest of your life with money that is tears from other people. You can't, no matter how much you try, but somehow, somewhere, God is going to come back, and he's going to fight for his people. And as the saying goes, that everything that you lost or that you lose along the way, God is going to bring it back to you multiplied and 10 times fold over. So that was my that ended up being my motto, to be like, you know what, it's not worth it. It's not worth you losing your mind over this. Yes, it's big money, but at the end of the day, your life is more important. You can still make another 90 or 100K, or even twice the amount of that, because you're still young and you've still got God on your side. I know it was a long story, and yes, you may say that I was foolish in investing and continuing to invest even when there were small waters that were brewing. But at that point, honestly, I felt like those guys would never do that to me because I knew them personally, and my friend knew them personally as well, you know. But gay, you never really know people when it comes to money. People show their true colors. But anyway, guys, yeah, please, thank you for staying if you stayed until this long. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one, way too. I'll see you on the next ones. Bye.